And we're recording.
My name is Ravonda Cosby, and I'm the Executive Director of the Arabian Mountain Heritage Area Alliance. The Alliance is simply a group of volunteers and staff who work to promote and preserve the natural, scenic, cultural, and historic resources within the heritage area. We were created in 2006 by Congress, and we are most pleased to work with communities like yours to protect, connect, and share the powerful power of stories. The roots of the city of Lithonia runs deep. The stories are powerful, the stories are rich. And so Bruce Street Ruins, to us, is some of the most important work that we will take on as an organization. Sarah's going to give you some more insights and thoughts around how we can work together in engaging you as a community on your ideas around this very historic and important site.
Thank you, Ravonda. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Lyle, and I work with Ravonda with the Arabian Mountain Heritage Area Alliance. I like to call myself the chief storyteller, and I'm very excited to help bring this story to life. So this presentation's purpose is to just kind of show you some of our ideas and thinking around what we could do with the historic Bruce Street School. And so the presentation is going to include some ideas around what to actually do with the ruins, but also what can happen in the ruins as far as the public goes. So that's what we're sharing with you today, and you're a really important part of this process. So thank you for taking the time to watch this short video. All right, and so first, hold on a second. Oh, technical difficulties, one moment. There we go. First, I just want to kind of touch on the history of the Bruce Street School and sort of define which building that we're talking about. So the Bruce Street School is historically significant. It is the oldest African-American public school in DeKalb County. And so when you hear the word Bruce Street School, you might think of lots of different buildings. You might think of the building on the right, the school that still stands today that serves as the Lucius Sanders Recreation Center and the Senior Center, among others. But the school that we're talking about today, or the ruins that we talk about today, is the school, the picture on the left. So the stone school ruins is what we're focusing this conversation on today. And while the stone school was built in the late 1930s, the story of Bruce Street really goes way back to the 1880s, where a group of concerned citizens and educators came together to formalize education for the African-American community in Lithonia. And there's a great history that we won't get into today, but we're really excited to share the story moving forward. So the first part of this presentation, we're just going to talk about the treatment of the ruins sort of as they stand today. And so what's not included in this is a sort of complete rebuilding of the ruins. So we're actually just looking at how do we stabilize what we have, and then how do we make it safe and accessible for the public to interact with it. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. All right, so these are just, the next couple of slides are just a couple of ideas that we have found across the internet just to kind of plant some seeds of inspiration in you as we move forward in this community engagement process. So these two slides that you see here are ruins that were kind of found as is, and then new structures were built kind of inside of it or incorporated with it. So these are a couple of ideas. So you can actually clearly see the difference between the new and the old. And then again, another kind of example of the mixing of the new and the old. This is one where it's more kind of outdoor space. And so there's no conditioning or lighting or anything like that. So it's kind of left open to the elements. And then here's another kind of example of that, sort of ruins being incorporated into more of an outdoor space. Another example of the old and the new. And this example is one that we are kind of excited about. It's actually located in China, but it is an example of some school ruins that were stabilized and made safe for the public to access. So you can actually see here that this is kind of a ghost of a building, but they've left it wide open. Anyone can come in and access it. And the kind of cool thing that they've done here is that they've left the sort of teacher podium area and the chalkboard intact, along with some school desks. And there's actually a person in there in the ruins. And then a kind of a cool example of it out in the snow. All right, so those are just some ideas about what we could do with what we have already, and ways to stabilize the ruins in a way to make it safe for the public to interact with it. So once we do that, well, how will the public interact with the ruins? What will be happening within the ruins and within the site? So we're just kind of throwing out a couple of ideas for programming. This list certainly isn't exhaustive, but it is just to kind of give you some ideas about what you would like to see at the site. So naturally, the programming that could happen at the ruins would be perhaps an extension of the senior center that's being built right now just across the driveway from the senior centers where the ruins are. So how can the ruins sort of help the senior center in their mission? What can we do there to help extend what they offer? Another idea for programming might be a community garden. So if you think about the examples that were kind of left open air, well, you've got the sun. So maybe we can create some space for the community to come and have their own planting beds. And to serve our seniors, we could even have elevated planting beds to make it easy to get their hands in the dirt. Of course, wellness programs could happen there, fitness classes, meditation classes, that sort of thing. Also a place to gather just to do some informal activities. This is an example of, my cat's meowing, sorry. This is an example of a park in Dallas where they have this checkout area where people can check out games and books and things. So it could just be a place for the public to hang out, an extension of a park perhaps. Of course, the ruins could be used as a place for community gathering. Probably wouldn't become a bar or a music venue because it's in a residential area, but this is just another idea to show you how ruins of a building are kind of incorporated into a public space. Special events, family reunions, birthday parties, fundraisers. There's a lot of programming ideas that could happen around special events, certainly.
Bruce Street Community Day.
Yeah. Oh, so much stuff. Farmers market. We have a farmers market in Lithonia, but yeah, lots of stuff, lots of potential here. Maybe some other things that are a little outside of what we might think about is some art installation. These could be permanent art installations or temporary. Both of these examples are from other national heritage areas. And so what they do is they help tell the story of that national heritage area. So using art as a way to tell the story of Bruce Street, I think could be really impactful and really special. So that's another idea. Any kind of live performance, spoken word, dance, singing, just a place to be creative is another idea for programming here. All right, so I want to say that no matter what happens with the Bruce Street School, no matter what is decided, what will happen to it, we are absolutely 100% going to tell the story of Bruce Street. That is very high on our priority list, and it's a story that needs to be told and a story that's worth telling. So we will certainly incorporate exhibits and interpretation into whatever happens here. And I just have a couple of examples to kind of show you what that might look like as far as a ruins site goes. So this is an example from the Berlin Wall, and it just shows you how exhibits can sort of relate to the ruins in a sort of outdoor setting. And then another cool idea that we could consider is this is a carved panel overlaid on a view that basically shows what that historic view would have looked like. And I think that there's a real opportunity here at Bruce Street to kind of show people what the school looked like when it was complete. So those are a couple ideas about exhibits. So you might be thinking, okay, well, what's next? So what's next is our community engagement part of the process, which is really the first step in all of this. And the Alliance has been charged with leading this, and we're happy to do so. And so we really need your help and your voice as we move forward. So the best way and the easiest way that you can really start that is by completing our survey. It's online. It's a 10-question, really short survey, just to give your feedback on what you would like to see with the ribbons. And so you can kind of take what we share with you today and kind of say like, oh, I love that, what happened in this slide or whatever, or you can come up with your own ideas. We really want to know what your vision is and what your dream is for Bruce Street. And then the other part of that is we want you to share your history and your story about Bruce Street. And so you don't have to have gone to the school to be able to contribute memories or share your stories. You know, maybe you didn't go to the school, but maybe your parents or your grandparents did. And no matter what your connection to the school is, we want to hear from you, we want to hear your memories. And we'd love to see your old yearbooks and any photographs that you have of the school. Because once we get to that part where we are interpreting the site and telling the story, the more personal experiences and photographs that we have, the more rich that story is going to be. And we really want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. All right. And then, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're not really sure where this will live, but wherever it decides to live, we're definitely going to have links to the survey, and so we have a website for the project or the school. So you can find that website here if you want to write it down. But thank you so much for reaching the end of the video. You made it all the way through. We really appreciate it. And Ravonda, do you have anything that you want to share to wrap it up?
Long live Bruce Street. I am excited. Please find a way to participate with us. Sarah, those were some wonderful ideas. It really got my creative juices flowing. Our hope is that it will do the same for you. All ideas are welcome. And like Sarah said, you don't have to have gone to school here. If you have ideas, if you visited places, if wonderful memories come up of how to give power to stories, participate in our survey. 10 simple questions.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. We look forward to hearing from you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.